Where'd he go? Wait, where'd he go?
I don't know.
Oh, he's down there. Look at this. All right. What's going on? We're back with my good friend Clyde Peeling at Reptiland here in Allenwood, Pennsylvania, and we're kind of behind the scenes. Yeah. Clyde, it's awesome to see you, man. We've already been talking for 2 hours. I'm not going to fake it like we just ran into each other. You know, I love coming up here. This is kind of the off display area, and so many times we show you what's on display, but a lot of times, you know, this is kind of a fun place to be.
Well, the one thing I'll tell you is that we built these in-house, these units.
Okay.
Because the commercially available ones just keep rusting out.
Okay.
So this is all done by my son Elliot.
Okay.
And
now that's the thing that, you know, I love discussing this. What we have, is that an emerald tree?
It is.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. What I love about what Clyde does, you came up at a time, Clyde, where you were really a pioneer for caring for these animals in captivity.
Well, I don't know that I'm a pioneer in husbandry, but I certainly came along at a time when there was a transition going on. I remember when I started in the business, some of the stuff you couldn't even keep alive, let alone breed.
Yeah.
And in the early 70s, a friend of mine, Rick Hahn, and I were at a zoo school in Wheeling, West Virginia.
Okay.
And we spent till 3 o'clock in the morning talking about the possibility of creating some kind of a symposium where we could bring people together from all over the world, actually, to share what they've learned about caring for and breeding various herps.
Okay.
And it's called the International Herp Symposium.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
It's still going.
Get out of here.
And
that was you.
Rick and I started it.
That's amazing.
To his credit, he kept it going for a long time after I dropped out, because we were losing money hand over fist the first few years.
Yeah.
And I can lose money on my own.
Right.
Yeah, but
I understand.
Anyway, I'm happy to say it's still going.
Well, this is really cool. But what impresses me, though, is that, you know, from your enclosures to the naturalistic enclosures, these are all built by you guys.
Yes.
Yeah, that's impressive. What do we have here? Is this a leaf tail?
Yeah, leaf tail, yeah.
Oh, man.
Let me open it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's so cool, guys. I'm getting to see species I never really see. Now, that is really cool. And even though, you know, you would consider this a basic habitat, right, just because of the screen enclosure, look at how nice it is, guys. There's everything the animal needs. So what's the purpose of keeping the leaf tail? Do you display these animals from time to time?
As you may remember, we have 7 traveling exhibitions.
Incredible,
that
that's right.
Move about North America to mostly museums of natural history, occasionally science centers or zoos.
Yeah.
And one of them is called Geckos, and it's all about geckos.
Okay.
And these are big exhibits. They're like 5,000 square feet required to set one of these things up, and we'll go to an institution for a minimum of 3.5 months and very often 7 months.
So you guys are kind of bringing geckos to the world. I think you did something with frogs as well.
We had 2 frog exhibits.
Yeah.
We have one called the Scoop on Poop.
The Scoop on Poop, huh?
What animals leave behind, you know, what you can learn with.
That's really cool.
Checking out fecal
And so
matter.
basically this is where the animals, when they're home, they're housed here, and then they'll go out on exhibit and spend 3 months educating the public, which is your passion also. You love to educate.
I think more than anything, Reptiland is an educational facility. I mean, big zoos can engage in a lot of conservation projects throughout the world, and I admire that. But we're not big enough to make a real dent in worldwide conservation.
Gotcha.
But we do, I think we stimulate people enough that they want to care to support conservation projects.
And you know, that's kind of how Clyde and I became friendly. We have similar mission statement. You know, our channel is about education. I believe that the folks that watch our channel truly want to learn about these animals and see how it's done. And I had been coming, I lived in State College, Pennsylvania, or near there, for many, many years, and this was where I would come to get my reptile fix. I would pay the admission, I'd come in, I get to see my reptiles while I was a professional bike rider, and then years later he and I became friends. What do we got down here? We got some cool amphibians here.
Let's see.
Any of the turtles outside.
Since I don't get up here that
Right.
often.
Look at this. I don't know what species of toad these are. Is this a toad?
Smooth-sided toad, yes.
There you go. Now this is interesting because these toads almost have like toe pads, like a tree frog.
Yes, right.
Yeah, they're just interesting.
Well,
we know-
as you know, all toads are frogs.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, but they're the more terrestrial version, right? That's really interesting. Then what do we got here? American bullfrog. There you go. We can find them in all the ponds in good old Pennsylvania. But there was a species we were just looking at. We pulled back. Let's see if he's made himself more apparent. Yeah, there he is. He's right up there. Look at that. I'm going to be careful. We're going to try and give you guys an unfettered look at this gecko. And there he went and hid. Wait, we don't want him to get out because this is an adult gecko. And they're from Tanzania, right?
Correct. And they're being bred in great numbers by one of our ex-employees, Frank Payne, in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
He's right. You guys might be able to see him move around. We'll just be careful. The last time we were here at Clyde's, we almost got Tom eaten by a Komodo dragon. So we don't want to have any lizard mishaps today, but you can see that little one. So that's really cool. And you know, a lot of times, guys, in Clyde, I'm always enamored with large animals.
Yeah.
But you know, the reptiles and amphibians, there's a lot of these kind of smaller species that are performing a function in their environment, but you don't see them.
Many frogs are beautiful.
Yeah. Whoa. Look at this.
In fact, our frog exhibit is called Frogs, a Chorus of Colors.
Yes, I remember that, and I think I was at the Natural Museum, the Museum of Natural History in New York, where you did that. You actually had that display. Can you tell me the species here? I'm I'm not really good with my amphibians. Oh,
Milk frog.
There you go. That's really cool. So again, guys, this animal will more than likely be out on display traveling the country, and you really have some beautiful traveling exhibits. And was that all built also by your son as well?
Yes.
Yeah, that's just an incredible
And we
undertaking.
built a lot of units for other institutions.
Okay.
However, since my son Chad passed away in 2019, Elliot has pretty much had to focus only on taking care of things at Reptiland. So
Gotcha.
he's not building for other people right now.
Gotcha. Yeah, and there's your little species here. Let's see what the card says.
Emerald Swift.
There we go. The Emerald Swift. It's just fun, like I said, guys. It's just really cool to see all these animals. Here's some more swifts. But again, this is kind of cool. There's like a lot of reptiles in here. I like that. All right, where are you going?
Right.
I'm chasing you around.
Going back over here.
Oh, okay.
She had to get some calcium.
Calcium. Let's see. All right. So what species are these? The swifts?
Yep, right here.
All right, very cool. We got some swifts. Let's see them eat. They're pretty on that underbelly there. All right, so this is, guys, you're getting a look at the behind the scenes how to be a zookeeper here. It's a lot like feeding animals at home. All right, we're gonna use the tongs, huh? Let's see. Now the tongs, is that just because it's easier for you to kind of manipulate the mealworm?
Yeah. And just so they can grab the food better.
Right, and they won't get out. Let's see. There you go. All right, that's awesome. They don't like to share. You know, this is funny. I showed Clyde the video of the curly tails on my Instagram, and it's so funny how these guys, doesn't matter the size.
Same guy got it.
Oh no, that's awesome. That doesn't matter the size. The animals are used to their keepers. And this is also good because wow, we got a real aggressive feeder in there.
Crazy.
Let's see if we can get that in.
Better than the crickets.
Yeah.
Honey? You hungry?
Yep, sometimes they don't want to eat.
Yeah.
That is really cool
If
though.
it's the female, try controlled wrath casting in front of her.
So they have all these different tricks. So that's really cool though that you guys are working with so many different species here. Do you know offhand how many species you have at Reptiland?
I don't. But what do you think in terms of numbers of species? 60?
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, we have a lot of duplicates, obviously.
Yep.
This is one of our king cobras, which we've raised, and this one was hatched in the Toledo Zoo.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's the benefit of you being an AZA accredited facility here, is that you partner or you can trade with other AZA facilities.
It facilitates things,
yes,
yeah. Otherwise, they got to send somebody to vet us and make sure that we're
you know what you're doing. Oh man, Clyde, you have a book out that you were gracious enough to sign to me years ago. Tell everyone the name of that book. They can still get it on Amazon.
Reptiles. Let me see. Reptiland. How a boyhood dream became a modern zoo or something.
I'm gonna get the book. I'm gonna show it to you guys. It's a good read. He's done a lot. How many years have you been at this now?
Well, the Reptiland just passed its 60th year in business.
That's incredible.
Yeah, 6 decades. And I, of course, was working for other people as a teenager, so I'm sure it's been at least 65.
Can I tell everyone how old you are? Because you're an incredible.
I'm 82.
82 years old, guys. That's my high water mark. That's where I'm trying to go. Although, you know, he's in better shape because he's got more hair than me. So there you go. I'm
sure that's a criteria.
Yeah, well, you know,
health.
I understand. It's good for me. I wish I had more mangrove snakes and
mangrove. Yeah.
Very beautiful. You were a snake guy. You're one of the original snake men here. It looks like a mamba. Wild. But I love coming up here because, oh wow, you've got turtles. I mean, there's everybody here, and this is what I remember. These are really cool. These are just like, oh, look at this. These are just, I love how you have these enclosures here. You know, they're good holding facility, and this is a reticulated python. Man, I used to see a lot of them in Florida, but because of all the laws, not a lot of people keeping them these days. So a very cool off-display area.
When we moved our reptile exhibit into Florida, we have to jump through a lot of hoops.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right, now, is there a favorite animal you have back here, Clyde?
It's kind of like asking me what my favorite kid is. You know?
Yeah, I understand.
I don't know.
Yeah, you've got a Cuban.
Yeah.
It looks like a female, perhaps?
Perhaps.
Yeah. How do they, are these good behavior?
Yeah, they're not bad. They're not, unless you put them together, then you have some problems.
Collie.
My keepers name everything, and I don't.
Gotcha.
I figure they don't call each other by name, so.
Yeah, why do you? Yeah.
But it's a natural tendency, I guess.
Let's see. There's that soft shell. Some blue tongues. Oh, now what is this? I don't know what this is.
Oh, yes, you do.
I do.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Come on.
Oh, it's a glass lizard.
Yeah, European glass.
No way. That is awesome, guys. Oh, look out! Don't get bit.
I don't think he's a biter.
Wow, that's awesome, guys. So here is a glass lizard. For those of you who don't know the difference, I'll let Clyde tell you. What's the difference between a legless lizard and a snake?
Well, the truth is, snakes are legless lizards, but this particular form of the legless lizard has a lot less flexibility and than does a snake. I remember seeing one of these crossing the road in Florida.
Yes.
And I stopped and had a car coming behind me, so I had to kind of scoop it in my left hand, and I threw it in the front seat, and it broke in half.
Oh.
And the tail went wiggling under the seat, and the lizard went wiggling another direction. I turned the animal loose. I'm sure it grew a new tail, but never as nice as the original.
Well, you know, the interesting thing to tell the difference between the snakes and lizards, there's eyelids on the snake, there's external, whoa, geez, now I'm scared. There's external ear openings.
Yeah, that's true.
But you're right.
They're not quite as stripped down as a snake.
Gotcha. And you know, it's kind of funny, he's speaking of the order Squamata.
Yeah.
And you're also a guy that likes cladisnics, is that what it's called? Clades, right?
Clades, yeah.
Clades. So it's a different way of taxonomy. In a nutshell, what what is the difference between the clade aspect of taxonomy? I know I'm asking these tough questions.
Basically, you're looking at the evolutionary history of the animal, and it's like Darwin's tree.
Okay.
But it's even more sophisticated because now through genetics we can more accurately determine its nearest living ancestor.
Okay.
And so those most closely related are one clade, and another clade might be something
So
else.
lizards and
Taxonomy, as we've grown up with it, is a Linnaean
yeah.
system, which we still use. I mean, we kind of mix the two.
Okay.
And it's kind of a clumsy system these days, but it's the best we have.
Best we have to try and order the animals and understand their ancestry. So we've got a lot of boas. You got quite a few boas.
Well, these we use in our educational
I see.
programs.
A gaboon.
Yeah. I got this at Bronx many years ago.
Okay. Albino.
At the time, I think it was bursitis. And he said, well, you can have this and this and this, but you have to take this also. So I'm not crazy about albinos, but we've had it for years.
That's awesome. And some pancakes. Can we have a look at these guys? These are such an interesting species. Where were these? Did these come from an AZA facility also?
No, they came from a lady who had them for many years, and she passed away.
Okay.
And her son donated them to us. We don't display them. They're part of the I don't know whether it's an SSP or just a stud book, but we're part of the program, ZA.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's really cool. You could tell they were raised in captivity.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they did have some pyramiding, which in that species is a little difficult to attain. So that's why I asked. But I think my friend Andy Denault is the stud bookkeeper for, I believe, for pancake tortoises. So he's out of Animal Kingdom, actually. But yeah, we got looks like some box turtles. This is really, oh boy, look out. That's cool. We got a lock on this one.
So
yeah,
I
can't even get in there. These are the Gila monsters? Or
yes,
are they? Yeah,
Gilas, yeah.
They are Gilas. Oh, they're beautiful. That's an awesome. Now, I've run into these out in the Southwest.
Yes.
Actually, we were out doing a tour of a tortoise keeper, and just walking right through his pens was a Gila. Yeah, it was so awesome. Yeah, no, it was really cool surprise
I've
for
never
us.
seen one in the wild.
Oh my gosh, it was one of those bucket list species because they normally are very cryptic and they hide. Another Cuban, just having a meal. Really, really cool. Look at all these baby box turtles, guys. Are these three toads, or I'm not sure what species these
I'm
are.
not sure.
Yeah,
I think they hatched here, though.
they're beautiful. Look at that. Yeah, they got 4 toes. I don't know. They might be luteola.
I think they're native.
Okay, that's awesome. Wow.
And we just had 2 brought in recently, and I just got an email from Pennsylvania Fish and Boat. They found a home for them because we don't need that many.
Right,
and,
of course.
So they're in quarantine at the moment.
Gotcha. Is this McCordy or?
Yes.
It is. This is a snake neck, guys. This is named after Bill McCord, who is I believe, I don't know exactly, but I think he found them in I don't know if it was this or the box turtle, the Cora box turtle that's named after him also was found in a food market, of all things. He identified the animal in an Asian food market.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it's crazy to be described. And by the time he described them in the food market, they were extinct in the wild. So he got a few of them, and they're named after him. So very cool.
This is our quarantine room down here, but I don't think there's much in quarantine at the moment.
Yep. And this is something that an AZA facility must have.
Yes.
You have to have it.
And if there were anything in here in quarantine, then it would have, the door would be closed. It wouldn't be open.
And there would be like a boot wash or something like that, just so you don't move things around. Yeah, this brings back memories, guys, because we shot something here for a TV show that went on, I believe it was Fuel TV years and years ago. And things got really really fun with the Pakistani cobras.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that.
Yes, I did not. We were having a good old time. See,
Well, the Pakis are over here.
let's see, man. They are something. They are really a lively. Weren't they the? They're the usual suspects when you see a snake charmer, correct?
Yeah, they're great hooders.
Look at this.
Yeah.
That is a cool snake. Beautiful. I mean, we pulled them out. We don't need to do that now. I'm just saying we had a good time with these guys. And you're like a kid. It's fun to see him doing his thing with the venomous snakes. He loves them so much. But if you read his book, oh, look out. Look at that. Oh boy, there's a bluff.
Now you can see why we have these covered.
Yes, because they'll just go
they'll
against the
beat
tank.
themselves up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really cool little trick you got there. But if you guys get his book, you'll get a story about I believe it was a king cobra in
they
an
got
airplane.
loose in the van.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, no, it was in a van.
Yeah, we did have
Okay.
animals get loose in our plane, but that particular story was in a van.
It was in a
3
van.
o'clock in the morning.
Driving down the highway one-handed trying to get a king cobra back in. There's some animals here. Is this field, it's much cooler in here also because there are some amphibians, so they're keeping it a little bit cooler. So again, cockatiels.
Yep.
There you go. I know my birds. Not really, but let's see who's in here.
And they're probably in here either because they've been fighting and we
You pull
removed them
display.
from the
Yep. So they go in a
the
timeout.
Yeah.
Tarantulas. You got some invertebrates.
One of our traveling exhibitions is on spiders,
Okay.
and it was built by the American Museum of Natural History. We purchased it and basically renovated it so that it was good for travel. It's a
Gotcha.
beautiful exhibit, but
Okay.
it wasn't designed for travel. So any arachnids in here are
Part of that.
exhibit. But that exhibit currently is at Philadelphia Zoo
Oh.
for 2 years.
Wow, for 2 years.
Yeah.
That's great. There's one up here. There we go. Yeah. I've never gotten into the arachnids or invertebrates, but I know there's a lot of passionate keepers out there of those. So, oh God, these fire-bellied toads?
Yeah.
I remember, guys, I had one of these, little fire-bellied toad. These are cute. Now, underneath, if you were to look,
I shouldn't do it without gloves.
no worries, I wasn't going to touch, but you can see they have a fiery belly. They have real colorful bellies. But look at this cool habitat. Just some pothos, a little epiphytes. I think that's a spider plant, and you've got yourself a really cool place to house some of these little amphibians here. That's awesome. Very cool. And of course, more crickets going to be fed. So I'll tell you, it's a cool little behind the scenes here of Reptiland in Allenwood, Pennsylvania. Like I said, just a lot of fun. If you are traveling on I-80, you got to make sure you bug your parents to come visit. It's a great place, and it's a lot of fun. It's a good pit stop too. So come on down to Reptiland and say hello to Clyde and tell him you saw him here on Kamp Kenan. I'll talk to you guys soon. Say goodbye, Clyde.
Bye.
So long.